My goodness. Brianna Turner was on this team for I don't even know if it was 24 hours. Because I can't imagine why you would sign her. I understand she's supposed to be this great defensive player. But is it worth taking a flamethrower to your fan base and your locker room, by the way?
The Indiana Fever thought they were making smart moves by signing Brianna Turner, bringing in a defensive asset, a veteran presence, and someone who could help Caitlin Clark lead this team into the future. But in less than 24 hours, Turner did the unthinkable, turning the entire Fever fan base against her. From a fresh signing to public enemy #1 in just a day.
So the Indiana Fever fans are furious with this signing. Absolutely furious with the fact the Fever have signed someone who appears to be a Caitlin Clark hater in Brianna Turner.
How? Well, let's just say Turner didn't waste any time making an impression. Unfortunately, not in the way Fever fans had hoped. Instead of celebrating their new shot-blocking machine, fans started digging up receipts. And what they found? Straight-up hostility toward Indiana's new queen, Caitlin Clark.
A lot of the tweets and stuff do not look good. Do not look good from Bri Turner.
Old tweets resurfaced, and just like that, the excitement turned into full-blown outrage. Fever fans thought they were getting a defensive anchor to pair with Clark. Instead, they got someone who had already taken shots off the court. The tweet in question, Turner mocked Iowa's celebration for their NCAA runner-up finish. You know, the same Iowa team led by Clark, fresh off one of the greatest college basketball seasons we've ever seen.
Seriously, if you're going to dog out your fan base that you just came over to, and look, she's got a history of going after the Iowa Hawkeyes, talking shit about Caitlin Clark fans. It's baffling. Seriously.
Turner tweeted, "Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runner-up. All players and coaches expected. Respectfully, I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does? Respectfully, please." Fever fans saw right through it. This wasn't respect, it was shade. And in Indiana, you don't come for Caitlin Clark. Not if you want to wear that Fever jersey comfortably.
He tweeted this: "Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runners-up. All players and coaches expected." This is Iowa to hold a celebration. Respectfully, I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does now? Haven't seen this before, but kudos to them for publicly honoring all they've accomplished this season. I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up does? It does if you're Iowa. I'm sorry, it does.
But it got worse. When fans called her out, expecting maybe a "my bad," Turner doubled down. Instead of backing off, she basically told them to get lost. Her response? "Feel free to unfollow me or block me if that is bothersome to you." Fever fans couldn't believe it. This wasn't just some harmless old tweet. This was Turner looking straight at the same Fever fans who had been celebrating Clark's arrival and historic performances, and telling them to deal with it.
There are fans out there saying they are being blocked by Brianna Turner. That's a terrible look. For this new addition to the team. I mean, seriously. God, it's crazy. Fever fans or CC fans, the Brianna Turner pickup does not make sense. I'm a basketball-first fan. CC did bring me to watch the W. As a fan, I want ballers who are going to help win and play together as one. Ask yourself, does Turner really fit in?
The backlash hit like a tidal wave. Social media was on fire, and Fever fans weren't holding back. Many were already demanding she be cut before she even stepped on the court. One furious supporter tweeted, "We were excited about defense. Now we're defending Clark from our own player." Others joked that Turner was speed-running the How to Ruin Your Welcome challenge.
Let's be real. She tweeted about the whole, do you remember the whole, harassment by the journalist? Or say not by the journalist, by the paparazzi, the TMZ person who tried to ask Kennedy Carter a question. And obviously she went and made a way bigger deal about that than it should have.
But this is bigger than just a few angry tweets. This is about Caitlin Clark. She's not just a player. She's the franchise. She's the reason Indiana is relevant again, why ticket sales are skyrocketing, and why Fever games are getting national coverage. And Turner's first move? taking a cheap shot at the very fans who are backing their star. Turner's defenders tried to spin it, saying she was just making a joke or that fans were overreacting. But let's be honest. This is WNBA Twitter. Fans, don't forget, nothing gets deleted. And Clark's supporters, they've seen this before. From Angel Reese's taunts to Bedijonai Carrington's eye poke. They know when someone's coming for their star.
Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White and these people came out and basically said at the end of the season, and Kelsey Mitchell and all these people, she was really anti-Fever. I don't think she was necessarily anti-Caitlin Clark with what she said, but she was anti-Fever when everyone was saying, like, do not platform the troll.
So now, the big question is what happens next? Do the Fever step in to smooth things over and tell Turner to log off? Or do they let her keep tweeting her way into deeper trouble? Because right now, Turner doesn't look like a defensive upgrade. She looks like a PR nightmare. And Caitlin, Clark's fan base, they're not the forgetful type.
He came out on Twitter saying we needed to platform the trolls. And when somebody responded that we need to platform the trolls and call it out, and it's the responsibility of everyone to call out all this, and it's like, someone responded was like, that's the worst thing you do. These aren't people. These are literally just internet trolls that are doing it for attention. And then she basically doubled down, was like, no, you're wrong. You need to platform the trolls.
Think about it. The WNBA is exploding like never before. Caitlin Clark has reshaped the entire league, and the Fever are finally back under the national spotlight. This is their moment. The fans are energized, the media is watching, and the front office is gearing up to build around their generational superstar. So far, every off-season move has made sense and fans were hyped. And then, here comes Brianna Turner, stepping onto the scene like she's ready to help, only to start throwing shade at the very player and fan base responsible for all this buzz. It's like she skipped the first page of the How to Join a New Team handbook. Rule number 1, do not insult the franchise star.
It was purely a college wants to celebrate his greatest team in the history of the college. And she comes out and goes like, why are they doing this? Runners up shouldn't be doing this. No one would say this word if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You just know that.
But hey, mistakes happen, right? It's social media. We've seen athletes slip up before. So what's Turner's next move? Does she apologize? Show some humility? Try to win back the fans? Not even close. Instead, she doubles down with a tweet so bold it left Jaws on the floor. Here's what she said. I will not bend the knee or change my online advocacy efforts to appease others. While I anticipate receiving criticism, hostility, and invalidation, no apology. No attempt at making peace. Just pure defiance.
When I see this kind of post talking directly about culture in locker room, are you trying to put out a fire? Seriously? Because that kind of seems like a little bit of damage control is now going on. First press conference. How's the locker room holding up? Would that even have been asked before that signing?
Can you believe that? She actually said that, basically telling the Fever fan base, I'm not here to win you over. Deal with it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, maybe she's just standing up for her beliefs. But here's the problem. Turner isn't just advocating for social issues. She's dismissing the very people who buy the tickets, wear the jerseys, and are ready to pack Gainbridge Fieldhouse just to see the Fever lighted up. This isn't us about politics. It's about respect. And Turner just made one thing clear. Winning over this fan base isn't exactly high on her list of priorities.
That is the one thing where I'm like, that's the one direct thing with Caitlin Clark. But she has essentially not shown to be necessarily fully anti-Caitlin Clark, but she was definitely in the group of players that you will say you could brand as saying anti-Caitlin Clark.
And Fever fans, they're not having it. They're calling for Turner to be cut before she even suits up. The excitement around her defensive skills, completely forgotten. Now the conversation is, why is she even here? But it gets even wilder. Turner isn't just standing firm, she's escalating. More tweets, more defiance. It's like she's pouring gasoline on a fire that was already threatening to burn down her reputation in Indiana. She's giving take it or leave it energy. But Fever fans, they're leaning hard toward leave it.
Instead of her coming in wanting a winning mentality, now Joanna Bonner had said some things online too, but what Brianna Turner just did is just completely disrespected the fan base as a whole.
And this isn't just a Turner's problem anymore. It's an Indiana fever crisis. Picture the front office right now. After months of building a dream lineup and around Caitlin Clark, watching ticket sales skyrocket, and positioning this franchise as the future of the WNBA. Now, they're watching their latest signing turn into a PR nightmare.
Now, Brianna Turner is a different type of individual. Granted, she has defensive possibilities, and she's a great addition to have on a bench. But outside of that, she comes with a lot of baggage. Now, that baggage is now causing major concerns online, and people is demanding she be removed from this damn basketball team.
Do they back Turner and risk alienating their most passionate fans? Or do they distance themselves and risk stirring up tension in the locker room? Because let's be honest, this is a Caitlin Clark team now. Every decision, every move is viewed through that lens. But here's the bigger issue. The Turner drama isn't just about one tweet or one player. It's about the entire team dynamic and how athletes today navigate the minefield of social media.
You didn't have no way to mediate anything to where okay, guys, I know y'all feel this way about me. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. How can we move forward this? How can we move forward and past this? Want to know what DeWanna Bonner said? You can unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel.
Players aren't just hoopers anymore. They're our brands. They're influencers. They represent something bigger than themselves. When you put on that Fever jersey, you're not just joining a team. You're stepping into a community that has rallied behind Caitlin Clark as their hope for the future. Turner, she forgot that part. She came in acting like she was bigger than the team. Bigger than the movement that Clark is building.
Now, is that something you want to say when you're newly to a team and you know the fan base seriously do not like you? Is to unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel. That right there showed me you don't care about the
Now, sure, Turner's not the first athlete to face backlash for speaking out. But here's the difference. The greats, the ones who last, find a balance. They stand for their beliefs, but they also build bridges with fans. They earn respect on and off the court. Turner, she's chosen war. And while that might sound bold on Twitter, in the WNBA, and it's a dangerous game, because at the end of the day, basketball is bigger than any one player. It's about the hot fans in the stands, the hot community that lives and breathes this team, and the bond between those people and their superstar. And right now, that superstar is Caitlin Clark. And Turner, she's already on the wrong side of history.
Now, these are the people that has to buy your tickets, watch the games, and pretty much cut your check. Now, I don't know how things was with you in Chicago. Maybe y'all was manipulated, brainwashed, but y'all speaking out and saying things outside of basketball and sparking these race wars is the reason y'all in this position.
So what happens next? That's the big question. Or in Caitlin Clark's case, maybe even a $1 billion one. Does Brianna Turner keep fueling the fire on Twitter, cementing herself as Indiana's most disliked player before even stepping on the court? Does the Fever front office step in to contain the damage and try to salvage this mess? Or let's be real, are they already working on quietly moving on from her? The reality is, Turner is walking a tightrope over fire. The Fever's offseason moves were meant to turn this team into a serious contender, building around Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull, with experienced veterans like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson. This was a core that could compete for championships for the next decade. Fever fans weren't just excited. They were dreaming of championship banners hanging inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Our job then as coaches to continue to put them in positions to succeed, and our job as a franchise to put the pieces around them that will fill some of the gaps and fill some of the holes. And ultimately our goal is to win championships and to hang banners.
Instead, their social feeds are filled with Turner's defiance and clapbacks. And here's the real issue. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player, she's a movement. She's the reason this team is selling out games before the season even starts. She's the reason ESPN and national media are focusing on Indiana. When Clark signed with Nike, it wasn't just another sneaker deal. It was the passing of the baton from the WNBA's past to its future, and Turner thought it was a good idea to take shots at that.
I know she knew, but we need to have some type of understanding. And we're not having an understanding when you're telling people to unfollow you. Granted, she can't take back what she said, but you don't come right here and slap the people in the face and say, you know what, I'm against this, that, this, and that. If you don't like it, unfollow.
Let's get real. If Turner is already melting down over Twitter backlash, what happens when she's facing real pressure? When Clark is dropping 30, Boston is dominating, and Turner misses another layup on national television, how is she going to handle it? What happens when reporters start asking why the defense collapsed and fans flood her mentions with criticism? Because in Indiana, this isn't just basketball anymore. This is Clark country.
She's already shown she is going to let what people say on Twitter affect her. She is already clapping back at people on Twitter. What happened to protect the locker room? And by the way, I have no issue with tweets she said in the past. Clean slate. At the end of the day, if the locker room are cool with her, if her actions are not going to affect the locker room and she can block a couple of shots and play some defense, cool. That's all that matters. But she will always be the freaking fan villain.
Ask any coach. Drama like this spreads fast. One player's ego can poison an entire team. Remember the Liz Cambage debacle with the Sparks? Locker room. Disaster. They cut her mid-season, and their season fell apart. Or how about Ben Simmons? No matter where he goes, that awkward energy follows him onto the court, and the team suffers. And let's not forget the great exodus happening in Chicago and Las Vegas because of Angel Reese and MVP Aja Wilson. But here's what makes Turner's situation even worse. She's not even a star. She's not a Cambage or a Simmons. She's not even Reese or Wilson. She's a role player causing franchise player-level chaos. The backup quarterback trying to hijack the press conference from the MVP.
Biggest things you don't want to have for your basketball team is locker room drama. Hell, you don't want to have locker room problems in any sports because that could boil over into the game and really mess up your winning possibilities as a whole.
Fans know it. Fever supporters went from celebrating Clark's arrival to questioning why Turner is even here. And let's be honest, she's not untouchable. The WNBA is ruthless when it comes to cutting non-stars. If you're not performing, you're out. Yet Turner keeps doubling down, treating this like a personal battle. But in reality, she's fighting against the future of the franchise. This isn't Phoenix or Chicago anymore. This is Indiana. And Indiana has already chosen its side. That side is Caitlin Clark.
So that's what you think of fans. I anticipate. So you think you are going to receive criticism, hostility, and invalidation. Why did you join a team when you believe that you're going to receive criticism, hostility, and invalidation? For, by the way, being against these...
Let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for the Fever. Clark isn't just another rookie. She's opening a championship window, the chance to build a dynasty. Every free agent in the league is watching Indiana. Players want to play with Clark, they want to chase titles. But if Turner's antics start defining this team, those same players might start second-guessing. They'll wonder if Indiana is more about drama than contention. The Fever's front office understands this. They're not clueless. They saw what happened in Chicago, where the Angel Reese era kicked off with locker room tension, veterans leaving, and whispers of dysfunction. Indiana can't afford to go down that road, not with the national spotlight shining this bright. So what comes next? Turner has a decision to make. She can read the room, put her pride aside, and prove she belongs, or she can keep tweeting, keep adding fuel to the fire, and end up watching Clark's historic rookie season from her couch. Because this isn't just about her personal opinions, it's about team chemistry, championships, and Caitlin Clark leading the Fever into a new era. And right now, Turner isn't just risking her own future, she's risking everything this fan base has been waiting for.